Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Nigeria's ruling All Progressives Congress holds mega rally in Ekiti ahead of Saturday's governorship election, with President Muhammadu Buhari and other party leaders rallying support for Dr. Kayode Fayemi. National Assembly Joint Ad Hoc Committee investigating invasion of the Senate recommends prosecution and suspension of Senator Ovie Omagege for 180 legislative sitting days. Benue State House of Assembly Speaker survives impeachment plots as lawmakers in Imo State begin process to impeach the state's deputy governor. Thailand divers rescue all 12 boys and their football coach from flooded cave 17 days after they got trapped underground.
On business news tonight, House of Representatives sets up ad hoc committee to investigate alleged under-remittance of funds by Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to the Federation account.
And on sports news tonight, Real Madrid confirmed the departure of Portuguese superstar Cristiano Ronaldo to Serie A champions Juventus after 9 years for a reported transfer fee of $110 million.
And from Abuja, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu shuns court order directing him to appear in court or risk going to jail.
We begin tonight in Ekiti State, where supporters of the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, gathered at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ekiti, the state capital, for one last rally ahead of the governorship election on Saturday. Also in attendance were President Muhammadu Buhari, governors of APC-controlled states, and other national leaders of the party. At the rally, the president and governorship hopeful reeled out the past achievements of the party in the state and what the people should expect if their party wins.
Scores of people converge on the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium. It's the final APC rally before the governorship elections in Ekiti State. Top on the party's manifesto is that living conditions will improve.
The people of Ekiti are more assured that he will do much better than he did before.
I stand as a guarantor that when Fayemi comes to office, provided you vote wisely on Saturday, he will start by paying the salary arrears.
His Excellency,
leaders of the party assure the voters of adequate security.
you are protected. You'll be protected. Nobody can intimidate you.
The APC government believes it can get the majority vote on Saturday based on its record. It promises to continue from where it left off more than 3 years ago.
The APC-led administration has also awarded the construction of a federal secretariat complex in Ekiti. The APC government also has extended the National Housing Program to the people of Ekiti State. Many politicians, in their mischievous attitude, have been blackmailing me and the APC-led administration, purporting that I have not taken any action on the issues because I am a Fulani man. This is a cheap blackmail. Like I said recently, the protection of lives and properties of Nigerians is my responsibility. This I have vowed to do and will stick to the oath of office. I assure you that measures are being taken to ensure lasting solutions.
If we did not construct your road, we built your hospital. If we did not build hospital, we renovated your school. We provided free JAMB, free NECO, free WAEC, free NAPTEC. We did all that. And above all, we did not owe the worker a single naira.
We're going to receive some decampees.
Then comes the ceremonial acceptance of decampees to the party, among whom are a former national spokesman of the PDP, Adedayo Adeyeye, a former chief whip of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, Sunday Akini, and a serving senator, Fatimo Raji Rasaki.
And while the APC held its rally at the stadium in Ekiti, commercial drivers and motorcyclists in the state gathered at the State House for a solidarity rally organized by the state governor, Mr. Ayodele Fayose. According to the governor, the rally is a celebration of the people's loyalty to his political camp and his party, the People's Democratic Party. The commercial motorcyclists and drivers had withdrawn their services in the early hours of the day by parking their vehicles and bikes in the government house and dissociating themselves from the APC mega rally. At the rally, Governor Fayose and the PDP candidate for Saturday's governorship election, Professor Kolakbo Olushola, maintained the party cannot be subdued by foreigners.
It's just days away from the governorship election in Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria, and as expected, all parties are putting in the last-minute touches, just as seen here at the government house, where the People's Democratic Party is hosting commercial motorcyclists and drivers from across the state.
I want to tell you, there is no amount of intimidation, harassment, or oppression that can change our resolve to vote for Professor Kolakbo Olushola, elected come July 14, 2018. INEC will not stop you. PDP will not stop you.
For the governorship candidate, the assembly of these drivers is indicative of victory for his party.
Well, you can see from their actions, from their body language, from their words, it's very obvious and clear that they are fully in support, a great majority are fully in support of Eleka for governor. So we are not afraid of anything. We are confident, and we are approaching that election with full confidence that the people are behind us.
Same is the position of the governor, Ayodele Fayose.
Politics is about people, not about strength of guns or soldiers or police. The drivers withdrew their services in solidarity for me and the party, and in support of Professor Kolakbo Olushola. That's the statement. And we are equally showing the whole world that those people at the stadium with them, they are not from Ekiti. Because if there are no vehicles to carry you from one point to the other, how did you get into the state? So these are people that came from Kogi, Ondo State, amongst others. So we want the people of Ekiti to know that they should be strong. They should not be afraid.
Whatever the strategies engaged by the People's Democratic Party, Saturday, July the 14th will be the determinant.
Staying with the forthcoming election in Ekiti, the Deputy Majority Leader of the Senate, Bala Ibn Ala, is questioning the deployment of 30,000 policemen to provide security for the governorship election. At today's legislative proceeding, Senator Naala said it is not acceptable that public funds are used to deploy 30,000 policemen for the Ekiti election, but government could not mobilize 10,000 policemen to stop the killings in Plateau and Zamfara states. Our correspondent, Linda Kigbe, reports.
On July 4th, a policeman shot and killed a serving corps member, Linda Igwetu, in the Federal Capital Territory. The deceased was killed a day to her passing out of a compulsory NYSC service. This is just one of the cases of the brutality and extrajudicial killings carried out by the police on members of the public. The Senate Deputy Majority Leader is of the opinion that there is an urgent need to reform the Nigerian police. He is also displeased at the number of policemen deployed for the Ekiti governorship election.
What we are asking is whether this Senate today has moral authority to accept a situation, and I'm sorry to say today, that will use public funds and galvanize 30,000 policemen to supervise an election in Ekiti, while they could not mobilize 10,000 people to stop the killing in Zamfara and other places.
But if we have 30,000 policemen and we can deploy them and pay them, and they are accounted for, there's no problem with that anyway.
The Deputy Majority Leader is sponsoring a bill to repeal the Police Act and establish a police which he says shall protect the rights and freedoms of Nigerians. The highlights of the bill include: the bill outlines the roles and duties of the police hierarchy to avoid role conflict and introduces a responsibility clause to make the police more effective. The bill seeks to establish community police forum and boards in all the states to ensure effective and participatory community policing. The bill also provides for the bail of persons arrested without warrant, to the effect that such persons shall not be kept in police detention for more than 24 hours without being charged to court.
And I believe that it is the responsibility of the Senate to accept the fact that something is fundamentally wrong with the present system that we operate. It is in line with this that I think it is important that we revisit the entire structure of the Nigerian police.
The conversation in the country in the last few days has been on the establishment of state and community police to address some of the security challenges confronting the country. In the event the Constitution is amended to allow for the creation of state police, reforming the Nigeria police is still necessary, as not all state governments may agree to have state police. Linda Kibe, Channels Television News.
Staying with the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has endorsed the recommendations of a joint ad hoc committee of the National Assembly on the immediate suspension of Senator Ovie Omagege for 180 legislative days. The joint committee was constituted to investigate the invasion of the Senate chamber on April 18th and subsequent stealing of the mace. The committee's 10-point recommendation was adopted after the chairman of the ad hoc committee, Betty Apiafi from Rivers State PDP, laid the report at Tuesday's plenary. The legislators also called for the immediate prosecution of Senator Omagege and 6 other suspects on charges of treasonable felony, assault occasioning harm, conspiracy to steal, and actual theft of the mace. They resolved that Omagege should also be prosecuted for incitement and breach of peace inside the Senate chamber and contempt ex facie. The lawmakers also asked the National Assembly management to review the existing security operational procedure within the complex. Also, the House recommended special compensation for 5 members of staff who did their best to retrieve the mace but were overpowered by the invading thugs. Senator Omagege was earlier suspended by the Senate for 90 days in April following his comments at a press briefing that the proposed amendment of the 2010 Electoral Act to change the sequence of elections set by INEC was targeted at President Muhammadu Buhari. The Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly has denied any alleged impeachment plot against him by a faction of the state's lawmakers. Ahead of today's plenary, rumors of an impeachment plot were fueled by the sack of the chairman, Benue State Board of Internal Revenue, and the general manager, State Urban Development Board. The governor had earlier announced a partial dissolution of his cabinet, believed to be a fallout of political differences between Mr. Otom and Senator George Akome.
The presence of dozens of armed security personnel at the premises of the Benue State House of Assembly provides a very strong hint of something unusual. That impression is further heightened by the official vehicle of the State Commissioner of Police parked at the entrance. Various lawmakers are seen in groups discussing. We seek to find out from the House Majority Leader what the problem is.
The police, the DSS, all have their own mechanisms and apparatus of gathering their various information. So it does appear perhaps that certain information that was available, to them at their domain indicated perhaps that there was going to be maybe a little breach of peace.
In spite of that explanation, the man allegedly in the eye of the storm, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, seems to be oblivious of an alleged plot to remove him from that position.
My colleagues, a few weeks ago, passed a vote of confidence on me, and there have not been any doubt in their minds as to my performance or credibility as the Speaker of the House. And I want to tell you that there was no move by the executive to impeach the House.
The security agencies would also not be drawn into any controversy among the lawmakers. But the Commissioner of Police seeks to justify the heavy security presence of police at the state's legislature.
Police is everywhere, especially in the metro, and we're doing this. You must have seen a convoy patrol. We're doing this as a proactive measure because when things are happening, when rumors are being spread, and of course we also have a way of gathering intelligence. So it's everywhere that policemen have.
Recent allegations of a growing rift between the state governor and a ranking senator, who is also the leader of the APC in Benue State, may be responsible for an increasingly charged political atmosphere that has seen a massive shake-up in the state's executive and the unease at the legislature.
In part two, after the break, Nigeria Labour Congress pickets telecoms giant MTN for the second day over workers' welfare. Please stay with us.